Where do I belong? I'm too native to the white LGBT culture. But I'm too goth and witchy for my native culture. I'm always looking for community. But sometimes I feel so lonely. And if people could only see my wounds, how much it hurts. How many times I've had to pull myself together without community. If I date outside my culture, they get so triggered the second I mention that I'm Indigenous. If I date other Native people, we're so colonized they want to keep me a secret. I don't know where I belong as a trauma survivor. As a trauma survivor, I don't know where I belong. Like, I've been raped. And I've had so many other traumatic things happen to me that because I was drugged when I was raped, it's almost like the least messed up thing that's happened to me. I needed to heal in my culture and our prayers, but I'm not always accepted because I don't know how to fit in. I'm just too much like myself. And although I embrace that, it just gets so lonely sometimes. It's so freaking lonely. I love my Apache culture. And being here in a Bacharia. 15 years sober, my culture is what saved me. But sometimes I feel like I don't get to fit in with my own people. I'm a little too rock and roll. Not enough of something else. I feel the same way with trans culture. There's so often you get left behind. So I'm so used to like getting myself through.
She
I've been drugged and raped. And the guy that raped me has such a huge following for his band in the area. People here hate trans so much that if I outed him, I would potentially put my life in more danger. And I have to carry this guilt that I can't defend someone or anyone else. Like, who knows how many people he's doing this to. I currently have a stalker. I've had a stalker for 1.5 years. The sheriff's department were not filing police reports. I feel like I've been having to stay on top of everything myself. And because I'm trans, I'm disposable. Because I'm Indigenous, I'm especially disposable. Things like this is what creates murdered, missing Indigenous women, Two Spirits, trans people. They don't care about us. And sometimes you have to push and fight, and the only way that they pay attention is if you take it to the media. But what media, right? Media doesn't like us either. We have to create our own media, Indigenous media. Like, I spent so much time trying to find community. I don't fit in enough with the Indigenous communities because I'm a little too goth, a little too experimental, a little too this, a little too that. In white LGBT culture, they either want to tokenize us or do everything possible to keep us silent, as they have to me in the borderland. They try to keep me silent. They've tried to hold me down, talking Two-Spirit issues, talking Indigenous issues. I lost the ability to get gigs. Nobody wanted to touch anything that I was doing. So I had to go national and try to do work with other organizations and shakers and doers. It kind of worked in the long run. But I think one of the hardest parts is just feeling too native for white spaces and not native enough for native spaces. And I'm just here trying to make a little space for me and the other Indigenous misfits. I too recognize all the other Two Spirits that have been lost because nobody cares. Because sometimes there's gatekeeping even in our own communities. But at the end of the day, we're like trying to survive the same thing. I hope to survive and to be an amazing ancestor someday. But I'm not ready to go yet because I have a lot left to do. Kaje.